Yes, I thought I'd do a video on the topic of art, something a little bit more cheerful, because I know I can be a bit of a miserable bastard at times. I suppose doing this kind of research and work is going to do that to you. Um, but yeah, basically, I mean, there's obviously all different types of medias and mediums of art. In particular, for me, it's sculpting. I mean, I'm into songwriting and poetry, graphic novel writing, drawing. All this will be on my site as soon as that is up and running on the net. Um, yeah, sculpting's the one that appeals to me the most, because you can really truly find um, your own craft with it. I don't like to use that word often, but I suppose it's okay in this and in these terms. Um, yeah, I mean, mine came about by working near a scrapyard, and I must have been a miserable bastard then too, probably because of the job at the time. Because I'd be walking home with my head down. When your head's down, you see a lot of things on the ground, especially around scrap yards, just plastics, rubber, glass, metals, of course. And it kind of hit me. This shit's fucking everywhere. It's all around the world. Animals hurt themselves on it, with it, in it. You know, and I was feeling artistic, so I grabbed a few bits and bobs. I took them home, and certain parts just seemed to fit with other parts. And it was a strange notion and motion that come over me in doing so, because when I make these models, it's almost like meditation for me. Not trying to sound new age or anything. It's calming, it's soothing. Um, yeah, so I only work with rubber, metal, plastic, and glass. I try not to use glue, but I do use a glue gun that my bird got me for my birthday. Lovely little lady she is. I don't use a lot of tools either. You don't need to. It's just to get in the little nooks and crannies. So yeah, we've got paintbrush, lollipop stick, paintbrush, lollipop stick, Stanley blade, pencil, pen, toothpicks. I don't even fucking know what that is, but it comes in very handy. Bud, big scissors, little scissors, cardboard box. Um, yeah, thought I'd run through a few, and as I say, I will be getting the correct photography taken of them. This camera is not going to do them much justice. It does my face justice. You don't have to suffer it too much because it's pretty shitty for a camera. But as far as the artwork, I'll give it a go. We'll see. All right, I'm going to show you some of my favourites. Yeah, so I try to attach a symbolic, metaphoric, you know, esoteric, biblical, political, satirical value, meaning behind each piece. It's usually based on what I'm studying at the time. Actually, that's one thing I find that I do a lot. So, when I was studying the Grim Reaper, the origins of which go all the way back to Saturnia. Satan comes from Saturn, of course, um, and Saturn is this evil cunt. Okay, this is Kronos, Father Time. Yes, the same demon face belonging to my television screen. He has Book of Life, the Scythe. the black halo, beard, and of course 3 Saturns, because the number 3 stands for Saturn. Okay. Here we have Satan, dragon, the serpent, and we have Lilith. These two I felt had to be made in matrimony. I was studying them at the time. I was inspired by Yeshua Ben David for these. Yeah, he seems to be an absolute scholar when it comes to Satan and Lilith. As I say, I do this, I mean, for example, growing up, Thomas Sheridan was another, mainly for his work in and on psychopathy. But he speaks a lot about the digital jinn, which I've mentioned before, Choronzon, or C333. This is it. Okay. So I made this one out of um, parts associated with the internet, being a demon of the internet. A cable, USB port. The hand was something that I was particularly proud of. It's actually a webcam. I took it apart and it seems to have these 3 lights like fingertips and a thumb. And of course, the webcam lens in the middle of the hand, like the eye. You also very briefly and abruptly, although I'm not sure why, not mentioned very much, but the same researcher, I like to call these people such as myself researchers rather than truthers. I think if you're researching the truth, that makes you a researcher. You know, it's it seems like another trigger word, another psyop to me to use the word truth. Although I don't dismay anyone that does use it. It's just something that I'd rather not. So this one's the electrical night jester. This one took a lot of work. As I say, not the best in imagery. But the reason I'm showing you, knowing that this camera is as crap as it is because I'm trying to get in touch with the process of creating your own craft towards your art rather than just creating your own art. Everyone has that ability, but I think if you find your own craft, that's when it's going to feel almost like an extension of your personality, or at least a projection of your own mind and your heart and your soul, but made by your body, yeah, to make another body. So that's what I'm trying to get at. I mean, your art can fight you, it can fuck you over, it can be your best friend as well as your worst enemy. You know, you can look at it one day and think masterpiece. Next day, you think masterpiece of shit. The way it can be interpreted internally isn't always the same way it is externally. You know, one person might look at it and see something you don't, and you made it. Another person might not see the one thing that you made it for. You know, it's just something that has always interested me, because any way you look at art, it's never right or wrong. You know, um, and us ourselves, we are a walking work of art. We mould ourselves, right? At the same time, we didn't make ourselves. You understand that? That's the difference. We have the free will to mould ourselves any way we see fit, but we did not make ourselves. We were made. So, to the ones that don't have faith or hope, remember that you do have a will, and your will is your own to make. And art is a very good way of finding your hope and your faith, by making something by your hand with your will, because it's you. It's from here, your pineal gland. And so, I'd say that probably wrapped it for today. I can show you some more, but it's mainly trying to find your own tools, you know, and your own take on what you make. Okay.